What up, you guys? It's Blackwing 2040. I haven't really done a comic book, talk or anything comic book related on my channel for like a while now, and I just felt like there was something on my heart to even, to talk about. So currently, right now, DC Comics has this big event, DC Dark Knight's Death Metal, and I know for sure there's going to be some drastic changes in, the DC universe after this event is done. I don't know what, but I know for sure changes are going to happen. But I hope these changes are for the better, because I'll admit, these past few moments of DC Comics, some good, but most of it hasn't been great at all. So this video is basically, what changes I want to see at the end of Dark Knight's Death Metal. First thing I want to see is, better usage of the legacy characters. I mean, I need to see, for instance, I need to see Wally West back in the Flash book. I need to see him in his suit fighting alongside, Barry Allen. And don't always have him and Barry at odds with each other every time they interact. Please, I don't want to see that. Have Wally with his family. You gotta have Wally West's family in there as well. The Flash family is so big, but it's great to have, the Flash family, team up with each other for once in a while. And also, have Barry and Wally do something, and also bring back, have Jay Garrick do something, the Golden Age Flash. You have all these legacy characters, especially from the Golden Age, that you just have sitting there on the shelf, not doing anything. If you want to do something with these legacy characters, for instance, go back to your roots with the Golden Age characters and do something with them. That's basically number one. And another thing I should talk about with legacy characters, don't change their names or their suits. I'm looking at you, Tim Drake. I know Tim Drake is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite Robins. I do not like the suit. I don't like the name that they gave him. It was a dumb decision. I don't know why they decided to allow that to happen, but no. A hero name called Drake? No. That's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. So, and speaking of, legacy characters, I know Joker Wars about to begin in the Batman books. I want to see the Bat family, appear sporadic, not spontaneously or sporadically. Have them, appear. Maybe have like one or two, family members appear in a specific storyline, and then, if you want to do something like mainly in the Detective Comics book. Now, for the Batman book, I mean, they can make a few guest appearances or some from time to time, but just in their soloed books, don't change them up like what happened with Nightwing. I'm pretty sure that was a Dan DiDio choice, but look, I know Dick Grayson's going back to being Nightwing again, but I don't want nothing bad to happen to Nightwing ever again for another 100 years. Do not, I repeat, do not do anything to Nightwing. Keep him in the black and blue. That's it. Don't do anything else to him. Next thing I want to talk about, bring back team books. And also with the team books, try to change up the roster from time to time. For instance, I know with the Justice League book, it's going through, of course, some changes as well, but look, back during the pre-52 days, when JLA by Grant Morrison was going on, that roster in that book was changing a lot. Like, really a lot. Some heroes would come, and some heroes would go. I think Justice League, which is DC's main flagship team book, you can't have the same characters there forever. You gotta change it up sometimes. Bring in some other heroes. Bring in Firestorm. Bring in Green Arrow. Bring in Black Canary. You guys. It really pains me to see how they have all these characters that were a part of the Justice League back in the pre-52 days, they're not using them in, the current line. They need to change the roster in their team books a lot. They need to. And the same thing when I say bring back team books, I'm talking about the JSA. We really need those Golden Age heroes back in DC comic book pages, in their own book again. They really, really need their own book. I know they're getting some usage now, but it's been way too long since that happened. So we need, you know, better usage of the JSA and having their own team book, and also change up the roster in Teen Titans, because I do not like this roster. The Teen Titans have been not getting the proper usage that they deserve, and it's really, really bugging me. After the Titans book ended, everybody was gone. Like, you didn't see. I mean, the last time they were seen was during Scott Snyder's, Justice League Doom War arc, and that was it. We haven't seen them since. I want to know what they're up to. I want to see them, back in the main title of the Teen Titans book, because this current roster of Teen Titans, I really, really don't like it. I'm sorry. If you're a fan of it, I'm sorry. Me, I'm not. I really don't like it. Another thing I want to say, more solo books. I know this is kind of a hard thing to do, because DC had a slew of solo books way back in the pre-52 days, and they had a few bit of, solo books here and there in the new 52. Some didn't last long as others, but of course that's what limited series are for. So when I say bring back solo books, give other heroes a chance. Give them a chance at the spotlight. If it has to be a 5 or 6 issue miniseries or a 12 issue maxi series, that's fine. Just do it. Give them what they deserve, but don't make it supporting characters, because I don't understand why Lois Lane has to have her own solo book. I know Jimmy Olsen had his own book back in the old days, but now I don't think it needs to happen. But I'm just saying, give, Green Arrow and Black Canary a maxi series, because we don't know what they've been doing. Give Blue Beetle a maxi series, because Blue Beetle hasn't been seen or heard of from since his book ended. So I think it would be great if you would give, solo books to characters, mainly to lesser known characters, mainly the B, C tier characters. That's what I'm saying. And as far as other things, as far as solo or team books, I want to see, more Lantern Corps books. I actually kind of like them, because the Red Lantern book during the New 52, it was actually pretty cool. But that's another thing. I want the presence of the other Lantern Corps back in the DC universe again, because we haven't seen or heard from any of the other Lantern Corps since, and I'm missing that. That's one of the things that kind of drew me into the DC universe. If you want to bring in more readers, use the same stuff that you were using to bring people more in, because trust me, when I started reading DC, I was so surprised to hear I'm like, oh, we got a Red Lantern Corps, Indigo Lanterns. Like, there's so many things that pull people in to DC that they would never expect. So bring those other Lantern Corps back in. Bring back so many other formulas that you used to do. It's gonna bring in new readers. Trust me, it will. And the last thing I want to say, the lore changes. I know lore can be retconned, and I cannot stand retcons for the death of me. Retcons are terrible. When it comes to lore, when you change up the lore a bit, if it's gonna change something, make it change for the good and not for the bad. Because, for example of what I mean by lore changes, when they brought in the new forces in the Flash book, I was like, the only force I know is the Speed Force. Where are all these other forces coming from, and why do they even exist? Thankfully, they got rid of them. Most of them. But if you're going to bring in something and make it... If it's going to change something, make it change for the better and not for, and don't retcon anything. Like, for instance, if you have like an event going on, don't just have this random character show up and then it's gonna say this character was actually around during this, this event, or this character was around during this story in the background. Just don't do that. I know sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't always turn out well. Okay, so that's my little rant slash tirade on DC Comics. In the comment section below, tell me, what changes do you want to see in the DC universe? Anything. Just go tell me your opinions in the comment section below. Be civil about your opinions, please. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell. And as always, I am Vengeance. I'm Darkness. I am Blackwing. Stay golden.